besties, and welcome to this new video. This video is the end of the year book tag. I've collected some books and I can tell you right now this is going to be chaotic. Just so you're prepared, you know. I got all of these, let me put my books away first. I got all of the questions from Sarah Caroli's end of the year book tag video. I'm not going to do all of them because I simply didn't do all of them and don't have all of them. And I tried to put as less books, is that correct? Less books as possible per question, so that this video is not going to take 4 hours, because otherwise I'm going to keep on yapping and rambling about these books. I think we're done. They are sorted by question. But let me just quickly say again, this is going to be chaotic. It's all over the place, but we're just going to make the best of it. And also sorry for the lightning, because it's winter here in Belgium and there's so much fog outside and it's like getting dark and it's only 3 p.m. So I'm going to do this as quickly as possible so the lightning is still great. But let's just start with the first question. The first question is a book you wish you could erase your memory of and read again. And we're going to start strong because I have 2 for that question. And I have already talked so much about both of these books. I think it would be weird if you haven't noticed me talking about these books on my channel before. Because I love them so much. And the first one is one that I like almost started the year with, because I read this series in January, and it's Redeemed by Lauren Asher. The way that I love this book is not healthy anymore. I'm not going to say what all of these books are about because otherwise it's going to take a very long time. But I just loved the story so much. It was so fun and cute, but also still realistic and shows more serious topics. And I think this is going to be, I have already done a reread again this year, like actually in October or something. So to read it twice in 10 months, I think that says enough. So Redeemed by Lauren Asher. And then another book that I love with my entire heart. I was talking about it to a friend yesterday on Instagram, and I was like, you have to read that book, because she's currently reading Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver, and she was like, but she has another series out that that is supposed to be good. And I was like, yeah, it is. I read it in April and I in fact bought the new covers too, because I wanted to do a reread and re-annotate them and stuff. And I love that series so much with my entire heart that I just wanted to buy more copies and buy the new covers too. What is this blanket doing here? Let's just put it over here quickly. But I still haven't said anything about the book, and it's The Front Runner by Elsie Silver. It's book 3 in the Gold Rush Ranch series, I think it was called. At least I call it that. I don't know if that's how it is called. But the way this man is so misunderstood and is so being seen as the villain, while he is not that, he's just chasing the love of his life, and helping her, acts of service. It's amazing. It's so good. And I can't wait, because if the new year starts, I'm definitely going to start again with the Gold Rush Ranch, doing a reread of them. And I can't wait to get back into that world and into this book, because this book is pure art and I love it so much. Then the next question is a favorite new character. I think it's safe to say that it's probably most of all these two. Like, let's be real. Stefan Dalka and Myra Thorne. My babies. For real. Santiago and Chloe. Also my babies. I just love them so much and they add so much to the stories that I just love them the way I love the books, if that makes sense. So obviously those two. Then most surprising book, good and bad. I'm just going to pick the good ones for now because I'm coming back to the bad ones. And I have 3. Wait, do I have 3? Okay, yeah, I have 3. The way that I had no expectations going into these books, but they delivered, it's insane. Again, a book that is probably has been so much. I have talked so much about this book already that if you didn't know I love this, I haven't done a good enough job. Because Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, this is insane, by the way. I started reading her books like a few months ago. I think it was May, maybe May or March, something like that. And I started with Part of Your World, and it was okay. And then I read Yours Truly because that was the second book in like the Interconnected Standalone series, and I had no expectations. But boy, this was such a good book and such an easy 5-star read for me. It was amazing. The way that his anxiety and anxiety and all of the harder topics were written and were described, it's so beautiful, and it's exactly how more books should have been written, if you know what I mean. So Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Then Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Again, I had no expectation going into this book. It was on my TBR for pretty long, I think. And I read it randomly one evening. I started reading it and I remember this specific scene. I literally was chilling in my bed. I was reading it and the way I came up to like register what happened and what I just read. I actually have it on video, but I think I deleted it. So that's amazing. But if I haven't deleted it, I think I can edit it in somewhere. But yeah, I love this book so much. I have annotated so much. And I love the way the story goes. Like the whole fake dating thing. And then yeah, the whole fake dating as a side job. And then how do I say this? The way like the story goes, I love it so much. And then The Right Move by Liz Stamford. I'm going to speak about this entire series in the next questions. But this, not a single expectation going into this book. But there. Did it deliver? Yes, of course it did. Because otherwise I wouldn't have picked it as answer for this question. Why am I out of breath? Actually, I kind of want to do a reread of this book too, because it is so good and I have seen so many people talk about it on TikTok, and even though I have read it, I still am like, oh my god, that was amazing. I want to reread it. So you know, this is amazing. The Right Move by Liz Stamford. Some of these scenes are amazing. But yeah. Then I have Longest and Shortest Book You Read. shortest is easy answer. Definitely My December Darling by Lauren Asher. It's a Christmas novella from just about 200 pages, I think. 232. So this is definitely the shortest. Actually, I'm not sure, because there is a book in the Gold Rush Ranch series and it's like a novella about their grandfather, I think. And it's also a novella, so I don't know how many pages it has, but I'm going to go with this one. I read it 2 weeks ago now to get into like the Christmas spirits, and I did a reading vlog of this book and some other books, but if you want to see my full reaction and my opinion on them, definitely check that video. So definitely my shortest. And then when I looked on my Goodreads, like my year in books thing, it said longest book you have read, and it said it was Mile High by Liz Stamford. I don't know if this is correct, because Love Unwritten is a pretty big one too. So let me compare. No, I think it's, yeah, it's definitely Mile High. Yeah, it's Mile High. Okay, so definitely longest with 570 pages, which is crazy. But yeah, still an amazing first book to a series. So you know. Then I have most emotional book. There is one book that I kept starting to tear up while I was reading it. I have no idea why exactly, because the story is beautiful, but I have never had such a reaction to reading a book. But it's Play Along by Liz Stamford. It's the other book in the series. I think it's the fourth book. And again, I had no expectations to go into this book too, but again, such an easy 5-star read. I love this book so much. The way I annotated it too, like I did a lot of tabs sticking out. You still can see it. And it was so beautiful. Yeah, I don't know why exactly, but I kept tearing up. The way the story was written again was so beautiful. So definitely shout out to Liz Stamford for that. The best series. The best series that I have read this year, like I'm not counting like series that aren't complete yet. But I am choosing of all like the complete series. Actually, that isn't true. But it is a complete series, and it's the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I have 2 of the books here for other questions, but these 2 are my absolute favorites. This actually, fun fact, this book is book 2 in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and it's about Violet Eaton, also known as the sister of like Rhett and Kate and Bo. Am I forgetting someone? No. From the Chestnut Springs series. So if you want to read like about her, because most people read Chestnut Springs and don't really know about this series, but now I think the popularity is going up because they're being republished. They are all out, by the way. But yeah, this is her story and it is amazing, it is beautiful. It has something unexpected that you wouldn't have expected from Sweet Violet. But again, I can't wait to do a reread of them in the next year. And also, I love the cover. It's yellow. And this is the new cover drawing, which is also so pretty. And this is a new cover of the front runner, by the way. It's green. Pretty much the same, but green. But yeah, that series is amazing. And I can't wait to do a reread of him. So yeah, it has 4 books and a little novella from Grandfather of Coal. And what was it? Vaughn Harding. And the novella is, I think, book, yeah, I don't know, 0.5 or 1.5. Prettiest cover, I have 2. Again, I have talked about this book so much, but Love Unwritten. I don't know why, but this cover does something to me. It is so, like, shiny. You can see it when I hold it in the window. And also the detail that goes into this cover, like the postcards from Greetings from Hawaii, because in the story they take a trip to Hawaii. And like with the song lyrics and the chords on them and the little flowers. Even the tag that Unwritten is written on says Honolulu, which is Hawaii. I don't know, I just love the story's cover so much. And the next is Bound to You by Bridie Charles. Again, I have talked about this book pretty much too. The way this cover is absolutely beautiful. I love the people on it, Kaio and Isla. So amazing. And if you haven't read this book, please read it, because again, amazing, and it's this perfect summer romance. And book 2 is coming out the 17th of February, I think. Yeah. And it's amazing, believe me. But yeah, this cover is amazing too. Favorite new author? I have 2. Let me sit straight for this. So yeah, we're going to start with Abby Jimenez. As I said, I started reading Part of Your Worlds a few months ago, and since then it's been auto-buy. Like, insane. I think it was just for the summer that was coming out, and that month, so I was starting to read Part of Your World and Yours Truly, to like, because it was part of the interconnected silos, and I wanted to do like 1, 2, 3, like book 1, book 2, book 3, reading in that order. But I had no expectations, and all of these books were so beautiful. This one is specifically, this book is amazing. Yeah. On the cover it says, Abby Jimenez's worlds sprinkle warmth and humor all over my life. And Ali Hazelwood said that. Achingly Romantic by Beth O'Leary. Jimenez is a true talent. Emily Henry. I think that says enough. But yeah, those 3 books. And actually, I have read... Actually, I bought all of her books. I just realized that now. Because I love them so much. Those 3, I bought them all. Or I think I bought them all. I have the Happy Ever After playlist. And on here I have Life's Too Short and The Friend Zone 2, but I'm going to read those in the new year. And I think that's all of her books. If not, I'm going to buy them either way. And then I have also Hannah Bonum Young. Y'all are sleeping on Hannah Bonum Young. She is known for books like Out on a Limb and Next of Kin, Next to You. I think her new book is coming out in a few months. I'm going to put that in here. I started reading Out on a Limb. Let me tell you, if I said that a book was easy to give 5 stars to, that book was the easiest to give 5 stars to. It was such like, I read it and I was so sad that it was going to end and that I was going to be in the worst book hangover ever in my life, because that book is beautiful. The communication between those two characters were crazy and were so beautiful. The story itself is beautiful, and I think I said a few weeks ago, or months ago even, in another reading vlog, that that book is to be loved is to be seen. Let me check that because I think I posted it on my Goodreads too. To be loved is to be seen. That book is just, that was the only thing going through my mind while I was reading that book. Like, that sentence describes the book perfectly. It is so great, it's so beautiful, it's so perfect, and I love it so much. And the other 2 books, I read them in another reading vlog. Books you finally read. And I have all of the LMA's books because I got them for my birthday last year from my sister, and they have been on my TBR for so long. And I started reading them this month, and I just finished the last one actually. And I don't know why I waited so long, but also I think this was the perfect timing to read them, because I think if I would have read those books at a different time, I think they wouldn't have been so good. I think those were the books that I needed right now to read, to like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think if I would have read them a few months ago, I wouldn't have liked them so much and wouldn't have find them as good as I do them now. Is that a sentence? I don't know. I have seen some people on Goodreads say that The Hardest Fall was not so good, but I read that one this week too. And I was reading it and I was so invested in the story, and I was like, why do people not think this is good? Because it was fine in my eyes. But yeah, I actually gave it 4 stars. To Hate Adam Connor, I gave it 4 stars. Marriage for One, I gave it 4 stars. Which book did I finish now? Charlie, Love and Clichés. I'm not sure what I'm going to give it, but I think I'm also going to give it 4 stars. To Love, Jason Thorne. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to give that one 3 stars, which is still fine. But yeah, I read them and now they're off my TBR after a year, which is a long time, a pretty long time. Also, I just reminded, book you finally read, the Mindfuck series. I had that book on my TBR in my mind for such a long time, but because that book has like 5 books in one physical book, it was a lot of money. And like, for some reason I didn't think it was worth the money, or I just kept how do you say this? Postpone like buying the book. Even though I have wanted it for years. The way I got into reading, I think July 2022, and now it's 2 years later, and I finally read it last month. It was amazing. I also gave it 4 stars, by the way. Um, yeah. Yeah, that also qualifies for that question. Um, I think that's also like the LMA's books are also books that I'm glad you got off your TBR, which is the next question. A popular book you loved and a popular book you hated or like didn't like as much. And let me just say, a popular book you loved, I think I'm going to go with Bound to You again, because that book is amazing and I have talked about this so many times already. But a popular book that I didn't like as much is an entire series that I bought, obviously. I started reading the first one and I was like, wait, I'm not vibing with this, and it took me a week to finish. Started book 2, took me a week to finish, although I did like it more than I did the first one. But I have book 3, 4 and 5 sitting on my TBR cards and I was like, what am I going to do now with them? Like, that's wasted money. But I actually sold them, so I can't like take them out of my shelves. And this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but it's the Magnolia Park series. I think I have seen someone say that it's a series that you either love or you hate, and sadly, I'm like not really vibing with it and not really liking it. So sadly, that is the answer for that question. And book that should be made into a TV show movie. Honestly, looking back, I think Redeemed would be an amazing movie. It would be a perfect movie. Yeah. Definitely a movie though. And I think for a TV show, I read them last year, but I think the Chestnut Spring series would be amazing for a TV show. Like will it be a reality show? I'm not sure. Of course not. What am I saying? But since I have done a reread of most of these books, like 4 of the 5, I'm going to say for a TV series, Chestnut Springs would be amazing. This was probably chaotic, so sorry for that. Anyways, if you like this video, please consider subscribing. It's completely free. It will help my channel so much. Don't forget to like, comment if you have read any of these books. And I will post the questions in the description so you can answer them in the comments and we can talk about it. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, I don't know what else. And then I'll see you next week in the new year. But yeah, anyways, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2025. Bye.